Hey, this is Bond Diesel with another The Division video for you. This time we will be discussing the 1.8 PTS Week 1 and ending with a best of vendor gear build for anyone just getting into the game. First, we'll talk about the Westside Pier and what has been discovered by myself and various other streamers and content creators. So far, I have noticed that this is a very dense and very visually impressive area to see, and I think the game is much better simply with this map extension. The randomly spawning mobs make this feel less like the LZ and more like the DZ because of the randomness of them. I would like to see a little bit more breathing room between each mob that comes after you, but I like the tension that it builds. Marco Style found some interesting areas in the map, including explosives and doors to nowhere, for now. We will see what these end up being, but I'm excited no matter what. I also can't wait to see the carrier during Resistance on top of what we've seen so far. Next, we'll talk about the new classy gear sets. Luckily, these are perfectly balanced and no one has any complaints, so we can move on. Okay, well that's obviously not true. Being the first week of the PTS, the sets are very powerful, as Striker Classy was in its first iteration. I do believe the basic idea of each set is great and amazing for the power player fantasy that the Division has struggled with for nearly its entire existence. I think most of the sets only require small changes to balance, but Firecrest and Banshee might need more substantial changes to feel good for everyone. I'll let the big boys in the community duke out how that should be done. Like the classy gear, the new exotic guns are perfectly balanced and need no changes at all. Yeah, okay. Big Alejandro is ridiculous, and we'll get the Nerf gun treatment in PTS 2, I suspect. I plead with the devs to only lower damage and maybe accuracy. The high RPM is true to the real gun, and having something to compete with metaguns is good. In fact, make every gun give me a reason to question using my lightweight M4 or my LVOAC or this gun, and I'll be a happy camper. The Devil and Heal are a fun combo, especially with the Hunter's Faith Classy, but they don't seem overly powerful right now. Lastly, the house seems right to be exploited or abused, but I've heard minimal complaints so far. It's likely in a solid spot, for now. Skirmish, in my experience and from what I've seen, needs to have some adjustments, but appears to be exactly what many have asked for. Pure PvP, no PvE, quick rounds, and decent amounts of gunplay. I think there should be an ability to inspect all of the players on your team and not just the top MVP, and builds should be locked from the start of the round, and private matchmaking would be insanely important to give the ability to play competitive tournaments reliably. We will see what the PvP focused people do with this mode and how they can break and improve it through the PTS. Finally, I will talk about the optimization station and some discussions coming up and what we will be seeing soon. There is a passionate discussion happening between many of the big names in the community about optimization. My opinion, the current system works well, but it needs to be more expensive. Optimizing gear to God Roll status should take work, but be obtainable to anyone. People with 4,000 D-Tech shouldn't be able to max out every one of their sets immediately, but we don't need another grind by only optimizing one stat at a time. There are also some talks about gear sets coming up, especially Banshee and its stacking against rogues, but I will wait for PTS 2 to comment further. I'm willing to give the devs time to make their first adjustments before I have significant feelings on the matter. I will wrap up with talk about my HE vendor build for the week. This was requested on Reddit, and I really appreciated that feedback. I would grab the VIG chest from Dante's Run and roll the firearms high. I would grab the knee pads from the cavern and roll the firearms on that as well. I would get the rehabilitated mask from the special equipment vendor and roll the electronics high. Grab the relentless backpack from Southpaw and roll the stamina because none of these items are going to have a health roll. Grab the cunning gloves from the firewall, roll electronics high, and lastly grab the holster from Madison Stands and roll firearms as close to the max as possible. Grab the LVOAC from the last call with a high damage roll and get the MP5 ST from the Grindhouse. Lastly, grab as many firearm mods from the ward as you can. This is for everyone. It has a max firearm roll of 267 and a 3% skill haste. And this build, it will give you a lot of natural haste to make up for having one item rolled stamina. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe. Check me out on Twitter and Twitch at the links below. And don't forget to enter my giveaway for a set of SteelSeries 150 gaming headphones that ends on Friday. I want to thank everyone who has helped me out and supported me, as this month has been overwhelming in a great way. Until next time, this was Bon Diesel, and I will see you on the streets of New York.